matters arising in the political space of our dear country, Nigeria. And most of the times at Landslide News, that is what we do, taking things beyond the headlines. Kingsley, are we ready to go beyond the headlines? Sure. Okay, you know, like we were talking this morning, the space is being heated. And a lot of efforts are also going around to ensure Nigeria remains a country that is focused at arriving at a point where we say, oh, this country is working for all of us in one form or the other. But the setback we're having in Rivers, in a way, you know, some quarters say, oh, the president was proactive. Some say he wasn't. Moving from there, the emergency rule, to how the legislature themselves voted, miraculously using voice votes to achieve two-third majority. So we don't know whether they have instrument that was able to separate the voices of each person that shouted nay or hi.
Or how many people were in the house?
That is a little bit, yeah.
No, we don't even know how many
people in the house. So that we do not even know. You know, a lot of things, moving on to coalition to ensure that in 2027, the only surviving party would not be APC. A lot of things. So let's just pick them by bit. Governor Fubara has denied having any form of tie with the militants. Before he was removed, shortly before he was removed, he was in the television saying, I will lead the fight from the front. What fight was he talking about, Philip?
Yeah, you know, when Fubara said, I would lead the fight from the front, there were a lot of fight in Rivers State then, and he was involved in all the fight, especially the fight between the executive and the legislature, which between himself and the State House of Assembly with the 27 members that were either they defected or they never defected, or they were PDP or they were APC, on one side, and Wike, his SY, godfather, on the other side. So when this issue of, the Supreme Court judgment came and the impeachment notice issue and all of that, the Nigerian National Congress, through his president, did say that if Fubara is removed from office, they will ensure that the source of livelihood of the country which reside in the water side, that they will stop it. The Nigerian Youth Congress also used the same word, that they threaten, fire, that they will blow up pipeline and all of that. Just before the day of the emergency rule was declared, a pipeline was blown, which was the plan on which Tinubu stand on to declare the emergency rule. What Fubara is saying that, look, all this may have happened. I had no knowledge of them, and I am not linked to them. After the emergency rule and all of that, there were rumor of pipeline being blown in the riverine of the country, especially River State and all the rest of them. There were rumor at the time they said Bayelsa, some pipeline were blown in Bayelsa. But he is saying that these are fake news, that you go and check the source of the news. There's nothing like that. That even people from that area had confirmed that every government asset are safe and secure over there. He is indirectly saying that, look, some people are trying to cash on the situation and perpetuate evil, and even further implicate him to say that, oh, Fubara is a violent man and he's the one blowing pipeline, using militant. They're saying, look, from word go, I am a law-abiding citizen. The president had relied on Section 305 of the Constitution, whether rightly or wrongly, and suspended me from office. I am waiting for the outcome of the law. If I must do anything, I know where to go to. But to say that I am using militant to fight my battle, cut me out of it. So he is not linked to it.
That was very clear. I think he was very, very clear about that. Fubara, his antecedents, idiosyncrasies, like I've always said. Do you...
Well, we have never known him to be a man of violence. At least he has been on the saddle now for close to 2 years. By May, it will be 2 years that he's been on the saddle. He's the only governor that his commissioner will insult. He's the only governor that his local government people will insult. He's the only governor that other people legislate.
But he demolished State House of Assembly.
Well, he said he was going to rebuild it, and he's rebuilding it.
I mean, do you have to demolish or rebuild?
No, he doesn't have to. Demolishing and being violent against somebody else.
I mean, if somebody was in there, I mean, I understand quite all right.
Of course, they serve the notice that they should not go there. From the antecedent, we have not seen it. Even in response to people's local government election and all that. They have never seen him too. He has never victimized anybody from what we have known or seen of him.
The local government election he conducted was in a way violent too. Remember, he said that some people came to cut away materials.
So who were the people that were violent?
I said the election is violent. I didn't say Fubara himself was violent.
That's what I'm saying. The election being violent are the only people that say election is not going to hold. And what the people that say election is not going to hold is from the other camp. We see we have two camps in River State. We should not shy away that, maybe there's this hallucination, there's another camp. No. There are two camps, the Wike camp and the Fubara's camp. It's quite...
but Wike himself never said my boys demolish the local government or try to burn down the local government.
Of course he's never going to say that.
They vandalized some local government.
Yeah, of course. And in fact, not only the vandalization of the local government, let's take it step by step. From the first go, the local government secretariats were locked up. Fubara never went there to try to break them up. Fubara never went there to try to remove the police from them. No, they just abide by the law and just went to get other secretariats. So from that system, we don't see him as a violent man, and I don't think he's going to start.
Although so far, since he's been removed, there's no group coming to say they are fighting for him and all that.
Now, the one that you said that he says is going to lead from the front.
Yes.
Leading from the front doesn't have to be through violence.
I agree.
Leading from the front can be through resistance.
Even the word fighting in politics doesn't have to be violent.
Exactly.
You can fight for your rights. You can fight for democracy.
Exactly.
And all that.
By speaking.
Yes.
Now, we've got divine democracy. Yes. We said dividends of democracy is the right for you to talk.
Exactly. Sometimes I'm always held back when senators, maybe they are able to influence street lights to their area,
or buy
they
washing machine,
dividends of democracy, or buying washing machine, or even paving the road. Yeah. Those are not dividends of democracy.
No.
In China, where you don't have democracy, they have a lot of that. They have a lot of infrastructure. They have electricity. Those are not dividends of democracy. Yeah. Freedom to speak, ability to speak, ability to criticize and be criticized, ability to contest and be elected, or ability to vote and be counted. Those are dividends of democracy.
You don't even know. Yes, just yesterday here in Kogi State, the dividends of democracy was the House of Assembly member sharing motorcycle tires to his customers. That's the dividends of democracy.
Nigeria is a joke. Nigeria is a joke.
That's the dividends of democracy.
Okay, let's get it. Still on this reverse crisis, Fubara was speaking out and trying to air his views. Also, SERAP, let's see if we can match this because we have a lot of things to discuss today. SERAP has also taken the challenges, has also taken Tinubu to court. I mean, how do you just help us make a detail out of Fubara's statements and SERAP also taking Asiwaju to court?
I think I want to also join the PDP governors. Who has instructed the Attorney General of all these PDP states to approach the Supreme Court, which they have done this afternoon, for a interpretation of the Section 307 as to what it means to say that two-thirds majority of the National Assembly have to ratify the emergency declaration, whether the action of the president and the purported ratification by the National Assembly was meet the requirement of the Constitution.
Law, yes.
I think that's what SERAP is also saying. SERAP is saying that, look, when you said you have the right under the law, Section 305, for you to declare state of emergency. Yes. You also have other sections of the Constitution which also limit your law, such as Section 188, 179, so many other sections. That spare out what you can do. SERAP has said that, okay, fine, you have the right, you have declared, but you have 48 hours to get ratification or withdraw that state of emergency. What has happened when the Constitution, the Section 305 subsection is clearly stated that, look, two-third majority, it also spelled it out that in the House of Rep, you have to get 240 votes.
Yes.
While in the Senate, you need to get 72 votes. So how come voice votes translate?
How do you count voice votes?
Yes, translate.
That's a miracle.
So it's something that the court need to,
could they have used any audio engineering instrument that was able to identify the voice
do you have that engineering
so that they can count it?
Do you have that technology?
I mean, they can have a synchronization. They will tell us.
All that will happen when it's going to be before the court.
Yes.
Fubara was saying that, look, I have been in the Senate before. I know the standing rules, and you know that Fubara presently is the BOT chairman of PDP.
Yes.
And you know, the governor affected is one of his governors. So it is right for him to speak out. And he has said the president has abused his privileges and powers, that the law does not give the president such right to remove elected governor from office. Even if you are declared state of emergency, they do not amount to say remove the man elected, because you are not the man who hired the man. Exactly. It is the people who are hired by election.
Yes.
The highest you can do is for them to, you know, record the man, which is not done. So the only way you can remove executive governor is by impeachment by the State House of Assembly.
That's right. And it has to be for gross misconduct, not in settlement of political crisis between warring factions.
Yes.
You know, so SERAP has gone to court. Will you be surprised tomorrow if the court says, "Oh, you don't have local standing"? You know, they have.
Who doesn't have local standing?
They say you are not from Rivers, blah blah blah.
No, you don't have to be from Rivers.
No, you do not have to. But you know,
you see, the thing I say about this Fubara's case, one fight gets to every other person.
That's right.
And I've always said that it's an antecedent they're setting right now. If it works in River, one day it's going to work in Lagos State.
Yes.
Nobody should forget that. One
because
day,
a northern president can come tomorrow. Not necessarily a northern president.
And Lagos will be
a president who is also not from Lagos. He had enough ground. There were two speakers in Lagos at a particular time, Obasi and Miranda.
Exactly. And they were brandishing DSS and police all over the place.
Yes, Miranda was made speaker, and Obasi came back and said, "I'm still the speaker." That amounts to two speakers.
There is no chaos that could have been that of Lagos, and you didn't declare a state of
because it was actually not right.
You know, I was reading one of the the presidency spokesperson was saying that look, that in democracy the three arms of government had to function, you know, interwoven.
Yes.
The executive, the legislature, and the judicial. That what happened in Rivers State, that there were no legislation in functioning. No. So and they cannot allow that to happen. I'm coming. They can't allow that to happen. Like when you speak about Lagos, it flashes back my mind. That's exactly what happened in Lagos for over 1 month. There were no the House of Assembly.
Nobody called for it.
No,
yes.
They couldn't see. So what it means that if you can declare state of emergency in Rivers State just because the House of Assembly was not functioning.
Yes.
You should do same in Lagos because the House of Assembly in Lagos was not functioning. So what it means that it's only the governor that was functioning.
Yes, they had a king for a while.
I said it's not right in the eyes of law, which is true.
Yeah.
So what is applicable to A should be applicable to B.
You see the fusion of kind of power that we talk about in state or at the federal level is the fact that one arm can do the function of another arm if it's not functioning. That's the truth. For example, the president can make laws by
until
do you understand?
It's either ratified or moved or legislated upon.
The same way the judiciary too can do the work of the legislature.
They do. They are certain interwoven.
That's the fusion of power that we talk about. Now, in them working together, they have to also make sure that what this one does not do, this one can do, so that the state, the country, will not be at a standstill, especially when it gets to, just like what is happening in America now. The executive will say, oh, this, we have made a law that this. Judiciary said, no. You can't do it like that, so that the state can function well. Yeah. You see, the reason we like it to have division of power is so that one will not have an exclusive power.
That's right.
To
override
every other one, and which is good for democracy.
And disagreement between these three doesn't mean they are not existing.
No.
What you have in River is disagreement between
one and two.
Between one and two. It doesn't mean they are not existing. Exactly. They actually said we are going for recess. If we say we're going for recess, it doesn't mean that we are not existing. We're existing. So that's only the legislature that the executive didn't go for recess. The executive was still functional. And as a matter of fact, even the budget that the legislature normally approves, the executive has right to spend to some extent, which is where that fusion comes in. Do you understand? So, but we can't overflog what is happening in Rivers. And I want to
see the reason we are overflogging, I've said it before, is because if we don't flog it now, it's going to perish.
Maybe later we'll get back to it when we want to talk slightly about Wike's contribution and where he's standing. Let's move a little towards this coalition that is onboarding right now. I don't know if you guys are very conversant with Adebayo, the former SDP presidential candidates. He was just saying there is certainly no deal among any parties at this time. Okay, and he was saying, he might not be open to merger directly. And I do also know that what they are putting together is not a merger arrangement. It's just coalition of interest that will take a single party. How do you think this coalition should treat him? Is he trying to hold on to his old ground or something?
Well, Adebayo is entitled to his opinion. And I also know as a fact that being, a candidate of the SDP does not make him the spokesman.
It's not a life candidate. He wasn't a life candidate.
Exactly. He wasn't a life candidate of SDP, and he's not a spokesman of the SDP.
Yes.
That's not to say that he had not made a valid point. What he said that, look, the SDP is open to everybody, that the SDP has ideas that they pursue, that if you know those ideas that you are in line with them, you can come in. He said, as the horse is white, so is the SDP members. That the SDP is supposed to, to stand what Abiola stands for when he contests under SDP and won. That Abiola stands for ends to poverty, in Nigeria and suffering, and that the SDP stands for healthcare. Provision of healthcare for people, education, housing,
and social justice.
So this is what we stand for, and we are not prepared to mortgage this for anything. So that we are not. That's what he is saying, that we will not let go of this our unique
principles.
But we are ready to welcome people into it, because we have not seen any other person that is better stand than us. And he also said that, look, of a truth, SDP is the oldest political party.
Oldest party, sincerely.
So there's no
and
point,
very organized.
Yes, so there's no point thinking that we are going to, merge with other people, but rather we welcome people and try to change people to take this idea that we have and take it to the country.
Well, I don't think he's speaking the mind of SDP.
Okay.
I think he's speaking his personal opinion.
Yeah.
Now, in a bid not to, they want to come and infiltrate SDP and make it another kind of party that we don't want. Maybe he's speaking from that passion. And that's number one. Then number two, we are still waiting. Apart from El Rufai that said, I have decamped to SDP. Yeah. No other person has said, I've decamped to SDP. What they are looking at is a coalition that will try to wrestle the soul of Nigeria.
At least to raise a platform where somebody can stand peacefully contest against election.
So we don't know whether PDP
is in crisis.
Exactly.
LP is in crisis.
We don't know whether these people, because don't forget, we had a new PDP at a particular point that collapsed into APC. Yeah. Am I correct?
Yes.
Now, we don't know which part of, because there are people that are still vehement of being in PDP. Yeah. But there are people that say, we are done with PDP.
They are gone already.
Do you understand? So we don't know whether they're going to collapse into SDP. There are people, even within the APC,
they want to.
They are still in APC as we speak.
Are people like former Attorney General,
exactly,
Malami?
The former national chairman of APC.
The former,
he sent his apology. He said, in fact, it's part of the
yes. Do you understand? So there is no way we can be devoid of the fact that there are no people that don't agree with what their party stands for right now, but they want to be relevant in the new formation. So he's speaking that don't come and contaminate us. We stand as a pure social democratic party. But
the strong matter in that discussion is Atiku is heading towards SDP. We have a strong, I don't call it a rumor, breeze that Obi faction, obedience are there, because in this World Conference that was held, Yunus Atanku represented Obi, and they clearly acknowledged that there is a coalition going on. Okay, he actually said that the boss, the train has left the station, and there will be stopovers. Whoever that want to join should join. So eventually, there's a B factor there.
But they've not outlined to us.
Yeah, I'm coming. There's a B factor. Everything will not happen in a day.
That's
they have started. There's a B factor there, B presence there. There is a Sibanjo factor there. There is a Atiku there. There is a Rufai clearly decamped. Even people are saying Malami. People who are disgruntled, those not too happy with what APC is doing. A lot of all of them coming under this coalition, which at the end of the day, SDP appears to be the most organized at this time to harbor and accommodate.
Okay, but let me ask you one question. Let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
Who benefits when the politicians are unseated? It's the people.
Yeah.
So anything that would make the people benefit, we the people, we are happy about it.
Certainly.
Do you understand?
So now the question is, you are looking at all these people. Almost all of them are qualified to be president. So are they willing to kind of sacrifice their ambition and let Obi take the lead?
You see, it's getting very interesting. I think 3-4 days ago, within the period we are talking about, the National Secretary of SDP also said that they already had 7 aspirants, presidential aspirants, gathering, that more are still coming. When you mention the people that are coming, you forget to mention Rotimi Amechi.
Rotimi Amechi is there too.
Fayemi of
Ekiti is there.
But though he has denied that he's still in APC.
He sent his apology for the coalition, so that he was supposed to be there, that he was not there. So I'm talking about the coalition.
Coalition now,
I'm not talking about
any party particular. Yes.
So now, when you said, what was the question again? You said,
how do they sacrifice their ambition?
You see, some time ago, the spokesman of Atiku campaign, Saomi, said, look, we're going to go around the country. We're going to talk to ourselves, and we'll bring the best among us.
Yes.
So I want to believe when that time comes, because Tanko said, that's my representative, he said, we are already talking. We are talking. It's not going to happen overnight.
Certainly.
Everybody want to put their cards on the table and say, look, if we must move ahead, if we must rescue this country, if we must make this country better, there must be sacrifice.
That's right.
And among us, let's choose among us.
And in addition to sacrifice, people are also saying there's going to be some healing. If you notice, if you see Obi and Erufai in a table eating, apart from interest, you also got to think of forgiveness and healing. Don't you think healing is a very important thing that we need in Nigeria? Because when you see somebody that says, oh, forget about who is against you. Oh, this person is a Yoruba man, I will not vote for him. They did this to us this time. This person is a Igbo man, I will not vote for him. They did this to us. Don't you think in Nigeria in general, you can't form a coalition that you don't have healing? You can't form a coalition where you didn't recognize the shortcomings of the coalescing elements. Don't you think there's going to be sufficient healing before that coalition can work?
I think there's going to be healing. One of the things, they are not all new guys on the block. They are all old dogs. Okay. They've been there for a long time. Everybody has been there since 1999. Obi,
almost at the same time.
Almost at the same time, they've all been there. Will they shield their? I think what I will use to judge this coalition, if they begin to step down for themselves and let Nigeria rise. Now, what do I mean by that? The interest of Nigeria and how Nigeria can become better should be the priority,
particularly of that Atiku.
Exactly. So Atiku, for example, now is he ready to say, look, what I need right now, I'm in my head is what I need right now. I want to see a good Nigeria. Forget about Atiku. Forget me being president. We saw Mandela rule for only one
and he left
and left and said, I want this country to grow by itself. One of the things we used to know is the fact that most of these people that are coming together, would they say, let us have a natural course where Nigeria can be built. It's not about who I become as a politician.
Yes.
I mean, all of them, they are mosquitoes that have eaten fat. Whether you like it or not, or you say, all of them, they have eaten very, very fat in one way or the other. So that's what we first of all used to see. That this coalition will progress.
I want to say something to this. Yes, it's good we are saying all of this, but I'm very, very confused because Obi has said it, that look, it is not my interest. It's all about a better Nigeria, good governance. And I think from Erufai has also mentioned it, that he's prepared, to what we call restitution, what he may have done wrong in the past. Yeah, he's prepared to correct it.
And sincerely, El-Rufai is not very particular about candidacy, but people are getting it wrong.
Very wrong.
He's not particular about being on ballot.
Okay, they normally say London is easy to say.
But we can't misquote what is not said.
No, we're not. But you see, these people have not put their mouth where their action is, or they've not put their action where their mouth has always been. So the only way we can know right now is when the ball start rolling and we see the action.
Certainly, but until that happens, we can't misquote what has not been said. No, definitely not. We can't misquote what has not been done.
Definitely not.
Misquote what has not happened.
But I've told you scientifically, there are things we should look at that have happened in the past, and we say it can also happen.
Yeah, that is, it still remains, but it's still remain an estimate. Yes. And when we have the real one to judge from,
we stay back.
We stay back.
Yes.
So go ahead, Philip.
Well, what I was going to say is that, look, this coalition, they are focused and they have a purpose. Look at the statement of El-Rufai's son. Said what we used to think about Peter Obi, they are not right after all. So when you talk about the healing and all of that, so when you say antecedent and what people are saying, you should also look at what people are saying. Now there's room for a change and there's room for
growth, and there are rules for correction.
Yes.
He who is not ready for change is not ready for any growth.
Me, I am ready for change. I want to see a better Nigeria. And we've always said that.
Like in Nigeria now, if what brings us together is more than what sets us apart, we'd rather go together.
Exactly.
And if this, you are never going to expect a coalition where you have saints. Where are the saints?
No. You see, I've always said, and I remain in that line, I'm not against opposition. But I'm also not oblivious of the fact of things they've done. I'm not also saying they can't be repentant at this point.
We're not talking about repentant. We're talking about me recognizing your differences and you recognizing my differences.
Have we done that?
Can we work together?
Have we done that?
Can we work together? That's what I said. That's why they are talking.
Okay,
because if you are waiting for the time where only people that have common interests, the only thing that unifies us is our common interest, you are not going to have a coalition.
Well, time defines it.
You are not going to have a coalition.
But time defines it.
The truth is that if we don't sit down on the table to discuss our differences, we cannot recognize our differences.
You cannot. As a matter of fact, we wouldn't even be in Nigeria.
Exactly.
Because sometimes physiologically, I look close, I might be looking like somebody from Ghana more than somebody from Zamfara. A lot of us from the south, our look, the way we look, is closer to the way Togolese person look than the way a Fulani man from Sokoto might look. Do you understand? So there are differences, but does it mean we can't work together?
Until we sit down to discuss.
You can work together.
No, I am not. You see, the issue here now, I'm not saying they can't work together. I am not saying that at all. Okay. We've seen all of them from different platforms coming together. That's how IPC votes for. Now we see them from another different platform coming together, from Amechi to Atiku to Fayemi to Rauf. I mean, all of them. What we are advising them, we are here always trying to make analysis and tell them that if you go like this, things will go bad. If you go like this, things will go bad. Do you understand? Because the interest, politics is about interest. Don't ever forget that.
Certainly.
Politics is about interest.
But now this time around, we want the Nigerian interest to be there.
Yes,
because one of their fears remain that as it is now, there is no party in its natural state that can
wrestle power.
Not even wrestle power, that can even contest.
That can match by the ruling power.
Because
ruling party.
PDP is in crisis. They are going to come with 2 presidential candidates eventually. LP is in crisis. They will end up with 2 presidential candidates or even more. Which other known party? So at the end of the day, if the thing that is bringing them together is to ensure that come 2027, there will be a party or a platform where there can be election between APC and them, at least they would have fought for people by conserving our democracy, at least.
But we cannot also be close our eyes and look and take everything to. Don't forget, the opposition, that's the APC, or the ruling party rather, APC, have mastered the game of division among parties.
So would you, I want to ask you, would you be happy in 2027 APC returns unopposed?
No.
So eventually, do you think PDP as it is is formidable to stand the election?
No, not at all.
Do you think? I'm coming. Do you think LP as it is formidable to stand?
No.
So eventually, people making effort.
Don't also think that they may not also bring those level of politics into SDP.
No, nobody is saying that they're not going to do that. But you are not going to say, oh, because my enemy is going to reign tomorrow, I'm not going to do my farm.
Don't forget that
I'm not going to cultivate a farm.
Don't forget that I've told you that I'm not against coalition or coming together to try and make Nigeria a better state. Okay, I'm just saying that the banana peels that could be in front is what I'm looking at.
Certainly there could be. I mean, we're not going to tell them not to do that because there's also banana peel before APC. There's banana peel before everybody.
Yes.
A lot of people that are working with Asiwaju now, telling him that don't worry, 2027 you are returning is a lie. They are just saying it.
Yes.
It's politics.
Because there are some voices we've not heard for a long time.
You know Jonathan's case now, the PDP
chairman,
the chairman of PDP, Mwazu was telling Jonathan, don't worry, you are.
And meanwhile, he was telling
meanwhile, in his place, he was working for Buhari.
The next chairman to the Senate. Yes. So and I think all of them they are regretting.
There is banana peel everywhere. Yes. So issue of maybe there's no way you'll be doing.
So the same way we could have advised Jonathan of this banana peel is the same way we're advising this new political party or this new formation that is coming to save Nigeria.
Yeah.
I believe that Nigeria needs a savior or a body of people that can lift up us
or at least conserve our democracy.
Exactly.
Let there be election, formidable election.
Yeah. And let people also be able to breathe and eat in Nigeria.
All right, Philip, a lot of people, somebody like Dan Orbih has Dan Orbih.
That's the Wike's cohort.
Whatever you call him.
He
has said people are misconstruing Wike's loyalty. You know, that Wike's loyalty is not really for APC or whatever, like people are putting it. Do you think there's a credence to that?
I think he's entitled to his opinion, and then you know that truth is relative. To us, what he's saying might not be truth, but to others, it could be truth. And don't forget that, yes, Wike is serving the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not APC. So there's truth in what he's saying to that extent. You know what Dan Orbih was saying, that, look, Wike, as a person, is his friend, is a member of the PDP, and is serving under APC government. That before Wike went to serve under the APC government, he met all the necessary requirements. He wrote to his ward chairman, his local government chairman, his state chairman, coordinator chairman, and the national, and they all give approval. That when he wrote to the PDP governors forum, that after his appointment, the PDP governor forum visited him, led by the present chairman of the PDP governor, Bala Mohammed, and he praised him. That's it. So many issues came up there because we were saying that, look, you are not the chairman of the South, zonal chairman of the South of the PDP, and they were issued with your election. He was trying to defend himself. That's why I said truth is relative to his own side of the story. That is true. If he says Wike is not loyal to APC, yes, that is true to him. But if from our own perspective we think Wike is loyal to APC, that's left for us. For me, Wike is a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I don't know whether this is my opinion.
Yeah, of course.
Whether he's loyal to APC or not. But
it's not even very clear. Yeah.
Yes, he's loyal to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he's a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he's serving the country very well. In that extent, you may hate him or like him.
Certainly.
No, as a minister of the Federal Capital Territory, I think I will give him a kudos.
Okay.
Let me give you a little bit about Dan Orbih. Dan Orbih is from the northern part of Edo State. Dan Orbih was PDP chairman in Edo State before he moved to become South vice chairman of the PDP. Dan Orbih was a loyalist to Chief Tony Aneni. Dan Orbih from the northern part of Edo State is from the same side with Oshomole. He has always supported Oshomole, even though in another party. Dan Orbih has worked against his party, PDP.
Just like a lot of people claim Wike worked against his own party during the last presidential
campaign. Dan Orbih has worked
against... Atiku is supposed to have won Rivers.
Exactly.
You know, they said he didn't really work for Atiku.
So Dan Orbih worked against APC in PDP in the last election. Dan Orbih has been chosen as the chairman of the board of governing board of Edo State University in Ekpoma, Abdulsalami University in Ekpoma. under the leadership of the APC. Dan Orbih, as we speak presently right now, is the South-South vice chairman of the PDP. Under Wike supervision and installation. All the governors from the South has come and said that we don't recognize. They have used the back of the court to come and recognize that particular election. So who do you think Dan Orbih should speak for?
He should speak for Nigeria. Okay, that's a very good analogy of analysis of about his background. We are looking at Rivers in details again. Administrator is either constitutional, the sole administrator that was appointed, or unconstitutional. People have many reasons, to say it is unconstitutional. One, the intelligence upon which the declaration itself was based on. Two, the ratification process in the National Assembly from the legislature. These two things are very strong. But
there's a third one.
NBA chairman.
There's a third one. The third one was that on what oath is he swearing?
No, it's still the constitutional, which is declared. The declaration and all that. So being sworn in, which is the unconstitutionality of it. Yes. Okay, fine. But the NBA. Nigeria Bar Association, the chairman has taken a different tone from what Tinubu loyalists are saying. He says it's unconstitutional. What are his side points?
First of all, who else is not working for the president is lending a voice that is constitutional. Even though our revered literal icon, Wole Soyinka, was speaking from both sides of the
He was wobbled anyway.
Exactly. Though we still know that he's saying that we have known him to be a man of courage and
before Asiwaju.
Do you understand? Before Asiwaju collapsed him into.
No, they are friends though. So
well, friends should not be sacrificed on the table of Nigeria. He was speaking from, but even in speaking from both sides of the mouth, we could see that what he was saying was that this thing is unconstitutional, and the reason for which the state of emergency was called in Rivers State is not good enough. Now,
even the pipeline has been fixed and it's functional.
The NBA chairman,
and there's no evidence that the pipeline was even vandalized by people from Fubara's
that place. Exactly.
Faction.
Now, number one, don't also forget that every lawyer or judge, as it is right now, first of all became a lawyer before they became a judge.
Certainly.
Am I correct? Yeah. Whether you are the Supreme Court or you are the Appellate Court, you were first of all a lawyer before. So the body that controls all lawyers, headed by Osigwe, has come to tell us that the administrator that has been put, or the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State, is all on a falsehood. Number one. Number two, that there is no place for administrative level in governance in Nigeria constitutionally. So if anybody should know it, it should be the body of benchers that has come to declare this.
Okay, let's in this case, all the expenditures of the sole administrator, because the cases are in court now, let's not preempt the court. But if for any reason this declaration is declared unconstitutional, who will suffer for the illegalities?
The Rivers State people, of course.
But they are not the one that declared it.
Yeah, so you see, that's why the question you asked initially, is this thing constitutional? Agreed, the president has power under Section 305 to declare state of emergency. It's envisaged by the lawmakers. But again, the lawmaker also says that even if you declare this and you publish it in the Gazette, you will send it to the National Assembly for ratification.
Yes.
And that he ratified that declaration, 2/3 of the National Assembly to vote in favor of it. For me, this is what makes it more unconstitutional.
The ratification.
The ratification.
Yes.
Whatever thing has happened, I will close my eyes. But for this reason, I want to question how the National Assembly arrived at to third voice vote.
Let me tell you, I'm with you in that case. While on personal ground, I do not feel, if you remember the day we were talking about it, we discussed it that day, that I say clearly, I do not feel that the case in River rose to the point where state of emergency could be declared. But that's my judgment. And I made it clear that day that I'm not the president. People can intelligently say the president is being proactive. But now, But it fell flat at National Assembly because there's no way to count voice. How do you say to third vote by voice? So that it fell flat, and with you in that case, personally. Okay, so at this point, do you think the pressures, even before the court case is exhausted, do you see Asiwaju saying, okay, let's, because some people have talked about Abdulsalami Committee, you know, bringing in things like that, you know, let them restore peace, call them, let Fubara come back. Do you think they can cut this? This 6 months can become 1 month or 3 weeks?
You know, like you said, I normally say we look at the character of a personality. That's the one we call the idiosyncrasies, and say this person will do this person will do that.
Yeah.
I don't think that Tinubu will cut short the number of months that this thing will happen in Rivers State. I don't think so. Now, why don't I think so? Tinubu seems to have known Nigeria and Nigerians very well. He feels they are captured people and that it will soon pass by. If you look at Tinubu's person, he speaks that it's been done. Not that it will be done, even when it's not done yet.
Yeah.
For example, he said, I will win this election. Anybody can say that. But he also still came up and said, this election, though you didn't vote for me, but I'm here now. He said that. Now, he also has said about the tax stuff and said that this tax thing is a done deal. I mean, he's not trying to say, oh,
but the tax bill is a done deal now.
Yes,
it's a done deal.
It's a done
deal. The House of Rep has passed it. It just goes for ratification and bill being passed. Okay, now we are in this.
But is it in the entirety of how it was proposed at the earlier times?
Well,
maybe Northern Bloc.
They have not given us any amendment from anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And they've not also made it public. Now, let's come to that of Rivers State. From the day he has made the statement till after the rectification from the House, Tinubu has not said anything. That's a president that doesn't feel its people. He thinks, talk whatever you want to talk. I've done whatever I want to do.
I want
to. You do not see any remedy from this 6 months.
And that's my opinion. And I may be
you know, the president and those with him, there are people who have made up their mind to commit illegality in Rivers State for a period of time, and they have set 6 months. You understand? So anything short of that 6 months, they will not.
It's difficult to achieve their program.
They may even want to go further. But for the pressure and all that is happening, they may stop at 6 months. But nothing short of 6 months. I can assure you of that.
You see, they may.
So let's just talk about Abdulsalami Committee that people were trying to suggest.
Yes.
Do you think people like that, or in any case, they can't comment until Tinubu probably invites them?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
So who is going to invite them?
They will be invited. And now, you see, this is the APC government is a cunning government. When they were invited, they will look as if, yes, they have listened to the
voice of the people.
So those people,
time will be going.
Yeah, so they will give their time, to finish their work, maybe 3 months.
And before we are closer to the end of the 6 months.
So that's why I said these are people who have made up their mind to commit illegality in Rivers State for a period of time. Starting with 6 months, it may prolong that 6 months, it may just end at 6 months. So if the Abdulsalami Committee, you see, I can tell you, for free that all that is happening, all that are saying, coming from some quarter in the name of protest, are being orchestrated by the government itself. Even the so-called pipeline blowing and all that.
It's been fixed already.
Yes.
There's nothing that says that after a pipeline was also blown in Bayelsa.
Exactly. They concocted this one so that we look as if it's from, so that you will say that, okay, people are doing this, so they will say, okay, they listen. This is what they want to achieve. Like I said, that is the kind of government we have today. The government of themselves, for themselves, and by themselves.
You see, listen, let me tell you
now, if you think, okay, go ahead.
Let me tell you something about our dear country. The politicians are more involved in staying in power than to make the economy and the political climate being able to be lived in by Nigeria. They are not concerned whether we live or die. They are not concerned. I gave you today a statistics of how many people are in the house that are not APC.
Oh, yes.
They could have grabbed power if it were to be that they were not bought over, especially in the House of Rep. Do you understand? So they're not concerned about you and I. They're not concerned whether the air work or the road work or the water work. They are not concerned. What they are concerned about is staying put in power. The other day we saw Tinubu come out and say they are criticizing my father. If you don't want us to criticize your father should stay in his house.
That's right.
That's the truth. But if we don't want to be criticized as analysts on this platform,
no, we shouldn't come here.
We shouldn't come here.
As a broadcaster, some will be abusing you already.
Exactly.
You got to the comments, some already abusing you.
This bar-headed man, this idiot,
this one.
I mean, that's what you face when you want to serve the people.
Exactly.
You must have a tough skin to be able to accommodate all this stuff.
Exactly.
You know, so what I'm trying to say is that this government of the day, you will talk and talk, they will do and do. We've seen so many things come. We've seen bribery in the open. We've seen falsehood in the open. We've seen so many things.
But a lot of people, just like you pinpointed, that there is no person not working for Tinubu that's laid credence to what Tinubu did. You know, a lot of people, though, more of his followers, they are saying he was proactive, that you do not have to wait. Although we don't know whether that is constitutional. Constitution didn't tell us that you have to think or expect
of what will never happen,
or what has not happened, a crisis or breakdown of law or order that has not happened, and declare.
Why were they not proactive in Lagos?
Yeah, I mean,
no, in Lagos for Lagos State, when we have 2 members.
Let me put it this way: do you think this declaration in Rivers puts Lagos in limelight for future? Because any president who say, "Oh, let me control Lagos for 6 months,"
because this is the second largest economy,
and appoint a king.
This is the second largest economy apart from Lagos.
Yes.
You see, I won't.
So Rivers is the second largest economy.
I won't say that because I won't wish this country to degenerate to such, state that if it do bad, then this will come and do worse.
Certainly.
I want a situation where those who are coming in are people who are refined, who are enlightened, who want Nigeria to grow, who want Nigeria to be better for all, who want the economy to grow and compete with other economy of other countries. Not those who will say that Buhari came.
But Jonathan did that, and people are still calling him weak.
Yes, the Nigeria have learned. Not because
you think so?
Yes, I think they have learned. Not Buhari came and he appointed all Fulani.
You think
now Tinubu is appointing all Lagosians. The next person that will come should be like Jonathan and Yaradua, who think Nigeria is one country.
Yes.
We are not Yoruba, we are not Igbo, we are not Urobo, we are not Ijos, we are not Hausa, we are not Fulani.
And that is even one of the reasons this coalition from different background looks attractive.
Yes.
Do you understand? When you see people of different or diverse background coming together to achieve a purpose, they have learned how to accommodate each other, no matter how you look at it. So that is why I was just picking it on you.
No, it's fine. You know, I've always told you, me, of this coalition, I'm in support. I mean, 110% in support. But my own is to, I told you, is to look at where they can be faulted, where they can have issues,
and amend it,
and
fix
so
it.
So that when it comes,
I'll call you so you can fix it.
Yes.
He became a consultant.
So I think our time is fast. We're going to be rounding this up. And I think we'll pick it from where Philip stopped. You know, we wish and hope that the people coming on board who hope to probably be able to win elections across board from the from the local council level or until the president, maybe probably having Asiwaju as a one-term president, which is legal. There's nothing wrong about that. He has done 4 years. If they win him, and with majority vote, satisfy the constitution, I am certain that Asiwaju is a Democrat. He will peacefully go home.
Asiwaju has not behaved as a Democrat.
Yeah, but at that time he will. But if they if they are able to do that, I think he should respect the law. I have no problem with that. At that time, when you realize the people are speaking from the point of their strength, yes, which is at the point where they determine whether you are to continue or not, you have no power beyond that. That I can tell you. It happened anywhere. There's nothing you can do at that time. You understand? But you see this mandate of 4 years, there's not much you can do to a president. Go and take it or leave it. There's not much you can do to a president and this mandate. But you see that time of election, even APC know how difficult general election is. That's why they are coming to say we own SDP, we own this, which is not true. Okay? So, Philip, I think we pick it on you. We hope those hoping to come will give us a Nigeria that works for everybody. Where you are from, your height, your marital status, your academic background, blah, 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 blah. The language you speak, your accent is not a determinant of the position you occupy or how you are promoted or the attention given to you to function in your country. I think until next time, we're going to be rounding it up here. There's not much that we can say that has not been said. Okay?
I had tried to do a recall on Senator Akpoti.
Well, Natasha, yeah.
Well, I hope they don't get plunked deeper and deeper into crisis,
the crisis,
because they don't want to hear any voice of dissent.
And also, it's also rumored that they are trying to replace her with Yaya Bello.
Okay, I think on our next Matters Arising, we'll probably put it in the torchlight, and everybody will see what we'll have to say about it. All right, thank you for hanging around. Thank you for being with us on this Matters Arising in Nigerian politics. Until next time, this is still News Insights.